Republicans in Scott County heard from two presidential candidates tonight. The Scott County Republican Party held its annual Ronald Reagan dinner at the Waterfront Convention Center in Bettendorf. Fox 18's Victoria Frazier reports Asa Hutchinson and Tim Scott addressed topics that matter to voters in Iowa.
2024 Republican presidential candidates Tim Scott and Asa Hutchinson spoke to Republican voters at the annual Ronald Reagan dinner Thursday night. Both candidates disagreed with President Biden's response on how he's handled the conflict between Israel and Hamas.
And we need people in leadership that understand crisis, understand execution of what needs to be done, and what it means to be a commander-in-chief that leads with strength. And weakness begets challenges in our country. And President Biden has shown weakness coming out of Afghanistan. He showed weakness in his dealings with Iran, and Israel is paying the price for that today. We stand with Israel, and I just have to tell you that I'm glad that Israel has the United States of America as a friend.
The administration said, well, that money is only for a humanitarian crisis. You can only use it for humanitarian needs. That's a lie from the pit of hell. It's a lie.
Both candidates went over their goals if elected as president.
That's why a few days ago I created legislation to freeze the $6 billion in Qatar so that Iran never touches a single penny of American dollar. That is something that we should not be.
I started with one fundamental principle as governor, and that is I wanted the private sector of the economy to grow faster than the government sector. Pretty good principle. And I want to take that principle to the White House because that's important in Washington as well. And let me tell you, elected President of the United States, we will secure the border.
Hutchinson and Scott also touched on the issues most important to voters in Iowa, including agriculture and controversial laws passed for schools like book bans.
Our farmers in Iowa produce and you depend upon the global market. Our former president wants to put a 10% tariff, and he calls it a ring around America to protect us economically. The Tax Foundation says that would be a $300 billion tax on the American consumer.
Age-appropriate material is absolutely essential. I am thankful to have governors like Kim Reynolds, who not only passed monumental school choice legislation, but she wants to make sure that parents are as available and have as much access to the information, the literature that their kids are seeing. That's good news for every parent in the state.
In Bettendorf, Victoria Frazier, Fox 18 News.
The keynote speaker at the Reagan dinner was former acting director for Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Tom Homan.